Hello everyone, today is a story time. It's probably not one that you expect, but it is a story time and it's deep and it happened 5 years ago, but I hope you can relate and I hope that I can help you with, knowing that you're not alone. So please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and we'll be back in just a few seconds. Peace! Hi everyone, I am back. So as you can see, I have my SpaghettiOs. I just heated them up. And go ahead and get your snack and your drink, whatever you want. And we are going to get started. So this story time is about my dad's very catastrophic car accident that happened 5 years ago. And he almost died, which is really sad. So I'm going to tell you from start to finish and everything that happened in between for this. So one early morning, because I woke up at 1 a.m. to go to the bathroom, and my grandma was here and my mom they were both awake, and I think my siblings were too, because back then they were like 7, 8 months. I can't really remember, but it was like around there, because the car accident happened March 16, 2014, so they might have been like 7 or 8 months back then. And I was like, what's going on? Why is everybody so crazy? And my mom said, don't worry about it, just go back to bed. And she was rushing me to bed, and I kind of thought it was rude, but I was like, okay. So then fast forward a few hours later, and now it's 7 a.m. I'm getting ready to go to school. And back then, I was in 7th grade, so I was getting ready for middle school. And I just wake up, and I wash my face, and then I go back to my room to get dressed. And then a few seconds after that, my mom walks in, and she says, Haley, sit down. I need to have a talk with you. And I was like, okay. And then she proceeds to tell me that my dad got in a very bad car accident. And before she can say anything else out of her mouth, I just start to bawl my eyes out, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, he's dead. Like, the worst is that he's dead. And but I was trying to stay positive. And then after she gives me a few seconds to, start letting it all out, she says, he's in the hospital, he's doing all right, he's in a coma, he's in the ICU, and they're taking care of him there. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, probably in a week or so, after they get him more cleaned up and all that stuff, I will let you go and see him whenever you're ready, and you can go see him. And I was like, okay. So then my mom told me that on a Friday, so then it was March 7th, and then she told me that she was gonna call and just tell the school that I'm not gonna be there because I'm taking a family day or whatever. So March 6th was the day before that Friday, and it happened at 10:30 at night on his way home from work. Here's what I know. A drunk driver that was 0.08 times over the legal limit of being drunk was driving on the wrong side of the road in a big giant truck and hit my dad head on, and he was running away from the scene saying, I don't give up. And then eventually some people tackled him, and then some in training paramedics or nurses tried to call 911 and was helping my dad. And when the ambulance and the police got there, there was so much blood from my dad that they thought that there was somebody else. So for 45 minutes, they were just circling the area, making sure that nobody else was there. If they would have gone an extra 15 minutes, my dad would have been dead, and my dad would no longer be alive today, basically. So, let me think. Sorry, it's a Monday. I'm all over the place. So then they took him to the hospital and rushed him there because he had so much external and internal bleeding that's not even funny. From that weekend until like the following year and a half, because in the following year would have been the next March, and then another year and a half, which would be before my 9th grade year. My depression got deeper and my self-harm got deeper. I will do a story time about 6th and half of 7th grade before the car accident. That's a separate story time of my depression. But basically my depression and my self-harm got deeper, and I would always think of ways to kill myself, but then I would think of my siblings and I want them to remember their big sister. She killed herself, but she loved you very much. So I didn't want them remembering that. So yeah, but I was very suicidal, and I would self-harm myself. I would hit myself and all that other stuff, and you know, it wasn't really that good for me, obviously. But I did it. And of course, back then I was in a program at my church called, I think it was like confirmation or something, but my last year was for 8th grade, and of course, as you could tell, ever since the car accident, so like from March 6, 2014 to the end of my 8th grade year, I did not believe in God whatsoever. I resented him in every way. I was angry with him. I was angry with the guy that hit my father, and I wanted to have the guy that hit my father in jail for life, but they only gave him, I think, 10 years, so his time is getting closer to being up, unfortunately, and he's a repeat offender. But anyways, I was angry at the world. I was angry at God. I was always like, why did God have this happen to a really nice man who took care of me for most of my life, and now he's in the hospital, not really lifeless, but unconscious, and he was there for like 4.5 months unconscious, and then like another 4 months in the hospital, just like having like surgeries and cleanups and stuff like that. But I was just mad at God, mad at the world, mad at the guy that hit my father, and decided that it was a good idea to drink and drive. And like, you know, it was my last year of my confirmation class, and every time they would just talk about God, I would just get so angry. I would be like, in my head, I would be like, stop talking about him. I don't believe in him. He's not real. Stop. Like, just stop talking about him. And then I even told my mom, look, I don't want to confirm my faith, because in this moment, I do not believe in God. God is non-existent. Like, you know this, but yet you're ignoring it. And then she confirmed me anyway. Yeah. So, and ever since then, it has been a real struggle to believe in God. I've been on and off with believing in God. And a couple months ago, I'm starting to accept him back in my life, and I'm trying to like pray to him like I used to and try to enjoy my church, but honestly, it's boring. I need to go to a church that captivates my attention and just is not boring. So, then I'm gonna fast forward. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm like telling you stuff. So fast forward, maybe like almost a month after the accident, that's when I went to go see my dad in the hospital. And it was a very traumatizing, depressing, intense, and more evening for me, because I got out at school around 4 o'clock, and it took 20 minutes to get to the hospital that he was at. So it was like around 4:30. So it was just really hard for me to see my father the way he was. One of his legs was in a cast, one of his arms was in a cast. He still had a little bit of blood all over him because they were starting to clean him up. And his face was like all puffy and half bandaged, like that. And like, I started like crying once I saw him laying there, not doing anything, with his eyes closed, unconscious, with all the casts and everything all over him. And then I got to hold his hand, and I'm not sure if this is true, but it's been told that people in a coma can hear you or feel your presence. And that day, I felt like he either heard my voice or felt my presence, because when I went to go hold his hand, he squeezed it. And it wasn't like a hard squeeze like when people are in pain. It was like a squeeze, like I love you squeeze. And I was just like, maybe the thing about people in comas is real, because that day I kind of felt it. I felt it within me. But yeah, so I just wanted to share my story with you guys, and hopefully it'll help you feel like you're not alone. You can always reach out to me through my Twitter if you're following me, or through the comment section, and I can privately chat you or something. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and peace, Lizzie Babes fam.